Hi there, everyone. It is Analytical Chick.
People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the sun.
As you can guess by the thumbnail, we're going to talk about Netflix and their left bent. And there's a lot of different reasons why they're left bent. You probably know about like one or two of the things, or maybe you didn't know at all that Netflix has a left bent. And as you can see, I have nicknamed them Leftflix. All right, let's get into it. So what prompted actually the idea that I had vaguely thought about making a video, but Magdalene, who I recommend you should sub to her on YouTube and follow her on Twitter, all the way back 22 days ago. Well, I'm recording this on the 22nd. I don't know when I'm going to release it. I'll probably schedule it for release. But anyway, back on May 1st, she put up this video, and they are disgusting. You can even see my comments. They're disgusting leftist garbage, and I'm going to end up revealing. So apparently, the Obamas have their hand in Netflix. So that's one reason to consider them to have a leftist bent. Let's see, this is 5 minutes.
Barack and Michelle Obama have, in the last year, been in talks with Netflix.
Barack and Michael, but anyway.
To launch a production company. And recently this has come to fruition. And their production company is called Higher Ground Productions. And they're currently slated to produce 7 projects for Netflix going into 2020. Now, they've said these are going to be non-political presentations, non-political.
Yeah. The left is always like, oh, it's nonpartisan. In fact, one of the other sub points to Leftflix, the left bent of Netflix, one of the other sub points to this is actually going to cover at one point when I was looking for it might not be in there, but I found when I was looking for choosing what to put in the tab to prepare for this video, I found something that was like, they're nonpartisan, and like, no, definitely not. No. All right. So the first sub point is actually that the Obamas have their hand in Netflix, and also I put that first because that was kind of when I said, oh, I'm going to do a video about Leftflix. So Magdalene's video here, I'll link that in the description. So my second bullet point is they had a series at one point. This is when I had Netflix and I was thinking about getting it again, and I heard about this series, Dear White People, and I was like, yeah, no. So apparently you see that, like, they're even admitting here, social justice BS, slippery politics. So, and that was back in 2017, that went on. That was right when I was having my political awakening, so I might have even found out about them before, might have even found out about that series before I actually really, started on my journey, because when I've told this story before, when I went to watch, I was already a conservative, but like I wasn't very plugged in at all. And so I did watch Tommy Lahren and Ann Coulter and some other stuff that would come up in the suggested on the side for YouTube videos. A lot of stuff about immigration, obviously. And Ann Coulter's interviews that week, I went in, YouTube and searched for Ann Coulter and filtered for the previous week. And all of the interviews were Ann Coulter saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to speak at Berkeley or not. So she was scheduled, I think, April 24th of 2017. I could totally be wrong. But somewhere in there, 20-something of April in 2017. So she was supposed to speak at Berkeley, and so all of her interviews were, instead of being like about the politics of the week and what she thought of it, her interviews were, I don't know if I'm going to be able to speak at Berkeley, so I went digging. I had heard about the Milo riots, but I didn't really pay attention when I heard about them. To be honest, I thought it was more like Black Lives Matter type riots. And then when I found out it was like college kids, and then I was digging into it more, like that it was at Berkeley and that it was college kids, although it really wasn't. It was a lot of like high school kids and gangbangers from the area. But anyway, so when I discovered that, I kind of went through a rabbit hole. Okay, enough of that. Next point that we're going to cover is Common Sense Media. Jim Steyer. So, I don't know if y'all know who Jim Steyer is. The brother of Tom Steyer. So Tom Steyer is the guy who put up the giant billboard. He's doing the impeach Trump movement, and he put up the giant billboard in Madison Square Garden. Very, very, very left bent. And you see entertainment reviews. So what they're doing is they're basically like reviewing TV shows, music, video games, apps, and all of this, websites and books, and they're telling parents if it's good for parents, if it's good for kids, and what age. And some of the stuff that they're saying is okay for kids to be watching is parents would not agree. If parents really looked at the stuff and spot checked the ratings that this Common Sense Media is getting them, at least parents in like middle America, or parents who are maybe not in middle America but religious, like recently we had an incident where Arthur married another guy. I think it's Arthur, some cartoon character. They had a wedding on the site, on the cartoon series, where he married another guy, and they would be like, oh yeah, that's fine, 3 years old, no problem, you know. I mean, I don't know what rating they gave that, but my understanding is that they are generally very, you know, it's almost like their ratings, it's almost like they assume like parents who are very, very like secular and detached, like they'd be the kind of rating system my parents would have used. My parents mostly just let me kind of run wild. I mean, I didn't, because for some odd reason I was kind of like a nerd, and actually, you know, very, very, very conservative compared to how I was raised. Like, my sister was very similar to a product of how she was raised, and I'm definitely not a product of how I was raised. Very different from how I was raised. Anyway, so, and then also, here's a video from Huff Poop, and apparently this movie Bully hit the theaters, and so the MPAA, that's the normal people that give movies a rating. Well, this Common Sense Media, run by the brother of the impeached Trump guy, Jim Steyer, brother of Tom Steyer, they kind of went in and said, no, kids should be watching this. So while the Motion Picture Association gave it a R rating, which is I think 17 and over now. It was, when I was a kid, it was actually 18 and over. At some point it changed, I think when I was a teenager or early 20s. But anyway, so they came in and you see, that's why an alternative system is necessary. So what they did, I saw it somewhere else, I don't know where it is in this article, but they made some sort of arrangements where parents could like write a permission slip and kids could just go see the movie, which, yeah, there's nowhere that could go wrong. It's not like kids couldn't, I mean, you know, people selling the tickets have no idea what the parent's signature is, so it's not like kids could, you know, just fake a permission slip. I mean, really, since they could also get another adult to just sign a name, because it's not like the people are gonna know what their parent's signature looks like. Like if you're talking about like a note for when you were sick from school, like at least it's gonna go to the office at your school, and potentially they could have on file your parent's actual signature. So at least you have to actually be good at forging, but it really just has to look like an adult signed it. So you could get like another adult to sign your parents' name or sign another name, and these people don't know you. I don't know if they're even going to be able to check ID and make sure the last names are right. And especially with this day and age, you have, all these people with their kids having different last names because of all these women who are sleeping around and having kids out of wedlock. Anyway, so, and you see who is promoting it, Huff Poop. So, actually, this is written by Jim Steyer himself, who's a contributor for Huff Poop. So that right there should let you know that this guy is leftbent. So he does. That's what this tab was for. He does. Where is it? And you see AOL. Oh, AOL is tied to Huffington Post. I didn't know that. Oh, here we go. NetFlix. So he's doing the ratings. This like crazy nut job leftist. He's doing the ratings for Netflix to decide like what, if something is okay to go in the kids programming. And I know Orthodox Jews who have Netflix so that their children can watch stuff from the kids programming. I hope they're checking the stuff, but they might not be. And this is who is doing the ratings. This leftist freak show who I'm sure thinks that, like, it's great for cartoon characters to get gay married and all of this other, you have incidents where Teen Vogue was telling teenagers to have anal sex, and now this is going to be in the California public schools where they're going to be teaching that. That's probably another video that I could make. But anyway, and then another thing I wanted to show you is that, so he grew up in New York City, and he lives in the Bay Area on the left coast. And really, Portland and the Bay Area are the two most, like, politically left-leaning areas. They're worse than New York City. New York City, I live in one of the outer boroughs, and the outer boroughs aren't too bad. Well, Bronx is pretty left-leaning, but Bronx and Manhattan are pretty left-leaning, but the other three boroughs, Staten Island actually even votes Republican for now. It's they're about to flip. We lost having a Republican congressperson. A Democrat got his seat. So we no longer have a Republican congressperson representing any part of New York City. We still have an assemblywoman, Nicole Malliotakis, and I believe she's going to try to unseat that same congressional seat. And she ran for mayor on the Republican ticket. But we don't have a lot of representation from New York City from the Republican Party. But at least, like, we had a Republican mayor, not, I guess it's kind of a long time ago now, but we had Giuliani. That was like right before I moved here, and I don't know, people used to tell me that Bloomberg was kind of a Republican, but no, absolutely not. Like, now, knowing what I know about politics, like, the soda ban, I guess that could be like neocon Republicanism. For those who don't know, because if you didn't live in New York City, you might not know about this. Mayor Bloomberg was gonna ban soda. So there was gonna be some kind of rule where you couldn't get, like ready-made soda. You could get like 2 liters or whatever, and you could get like a small pop in restaurants and stuff, but he was gonna make a rule that in restaurants, and this might have applied to like big gulps too in 7-Eleven, but like the kind that comes from like the machines, there was going to be like a size limit of what you could buy. You couldn't buy a certain size, and he was going to ban that within the city. Now, people went out and they petitioned. I ran into somebody who was doing a petitioning for that, and I ended up signing it. And I used to be very non-political, wouldn't sign petitions, and that was something where I was like, yeah, this is insane. Like, I saw it in the news, and I was like, how can he do this? This can't be legal. Which, that's another thing, is somebody potentially probably could have sued the city as it was a violation of civil liberties. I'm pretty sure that was an overreach and unconstitutional, but either way, they petitioned hard, and he ended up, it quietly went away. So the ban never went into fruition, and I'm surprised de Blasio, being the far leftist that he is, didn't go ahead and finish that. But he did other really damaging things, like, I don't know, unraveling our anti-terrorism program. But anyway, okay, so next tab for why Netflix is leftflix and not just whatever. So they had this series with this weirdo woman with the weird saggy mouth. I don't know. So this woman, it was supposed to be a comedy show, but no, not funny. More like cringe comedy. I guess you could laugh at how cringy it is, but anyway. So, and I just noticed this. You see right there, there's like sperms on it's supposed to be like 4th of July fireworks. I think this came out yeah, July 8th. I think it was actually on the show like right before or on 4th of July. So it was, apparently they uploaded it to YouTube on the 8th, but I think it actually aired like on the 3rd or the 4th. Anyway, the Break's 10th annual Salute to Abortion. Cringy. And she looks like she had a stroke or something, which, I mean, is that where we're at? Like, they're so desperate for leftist people only in entertainment. You know, when I was growing up, they never would have had somebody on the air who, you know, you had to be attractive, well, maybe that's why they do it, because we know that they promote the unattractive. That's kind of a
if you need an abortion, get one! If you want an abortion, get one! If you're not pregnant but you think you eventually might be and want to order a future abortion, get one!
I mean, wow, cringe. Order a future abortion. You're not even pregnant yet.
If you're pregnant and you want to be pregnant, don't get one! It's up to you, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's actually a great deal. It's about $300. That's like 6 movie tickets. Movie tickets, a bad deal!
Alright, so at least they're honest about that. Movie tickets are a bad deal. They're overpriced. So something I had wanted to highlight from the comments. So somebody says, now that the show was canceled, they were going to get their subscription back. And you can see, like, people are like, cancel it. This person like, cancel again, man. I canceled for my kid's safety. I found a thumbnail on the kids site that had a skull, a poo emoji, and the letter L. Now, what was I telling you about Common Sense Media? Yes, I'm gonna have to comment and tell this person about Common Sense Media in this video. Clicked on it to find their 6-year-old had access to Deadpool, adult movies on the kids' side, grooming, cartoons. What was I just telling you about Common Sense Media? There you go. They just hired the Obamas, which was, that was the thing that triggered for me to make this video when Magdalene put up the video about the Obama
stuff, but
the Obozas.
I'm going to explain why
So,
this is so bad for conservatives. For a long time, conservatives and liberals too have realized that despite social media exploding, where you get the most people right away.
anyway, yeah, I'll put her video, I'll put this tweet in the description so that you can watch it. So, let's see, hired the Obamas. Even though I didn't watch the show, saw a clip of the abortion episode, and that did it for me. I canceled right after. There may be other left-leaning shows on Netflix as well. Another reason why they canceled. And, like I said, after I finish this video and upload it, I'm going to get into this comment and I'm going to tell people about the, how there's more than what they know. So, and then another thing that I found that I hadn't heard of, I found this when I was trying to find stuff to put in the tabs for, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was actually the Dear White People. This came up when I was trying to search for information about that, and I ended up just deciding to go with, you know, the Google search page itself. Maybe it was one of the other tabs, but anyway, so I found they're bragging about having a series that portrays abortion accurately. And if you get into this article, which I will link, actually I may actually link it in the comments, because I've heard that it's better for the algorithm if you put stuff in the comments and then pin it as opposed to putting in the description. Something about putting stuff in the description, putting links in the description is supposed to be like harmful for your algorithm. So, rarely do we see abortion on TV. Anyway, I read through, oh yeah, the actual procedure isn't really a big deal. You know, for many women, it's no big deal, no big deal decision, you know, no emotion, nothing, you know, it's a short procedure, like, just totally downplaying it, and you can imagine, you can basically tell where this series would go. Oh, and I think, yeah, they're citing Planned Parenthood. I mean, there's a reliable, reliable source to cite. So, I mean, that shows you, oh, actually, this was printed up in Teen Vogue. And we also know that Teen Vogue has problems because they had an article basically instructing girls to have anal sex with their boyfriends. Ew. Yeah. So, Teen Vogue is known, yeah, for a left bent. So, and then, so this is like a newer series, actually, even. So, January 15th of this year. So, that's yet another left-bent aspect of Leftflix, as I called it. Alright, so just to review, the sub-tabs to this video were Obamas have their hand in Netflix. There was a series called Dear White People. Jim Steyer, the brother of Tom Steyer, runs Common Sense Media that does the ratings and decides what's appropriate for your kids to watch in the children's section of Netflix. And then we covered Get Your Abortion, that crazy lady, Michelle Wolf is her name. And we covered, and then in the comments there, we also had people commenting about stuff that really ties into the other points that I've already covered. And then finally, they're now releasing a show which was promoted on Teen Vogue. It's called Sex Education, and it promotes abortion. And of course, it's pro-abortion. Alright, Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I will see you all next time.
People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff. People need to be awake. People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff.
And it's so politically engaged.
And is so politically engaged.